Hey guys, welcome back to Real Housewives Recaps. Today we're talking Emily in Paris, Season 2, Episode 7. This one has a long title. You ready? The Cook, the Thief, Her Ghost, and His Lover. That's a mouthful. So I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for joining me, Emily in Paris. I'm loving this season. So much fun to talk about. Before we jump into it, I did want to let you know I have a Patreon now. So check that out. Patreon.com/Real Housewives Recaps. And you'll find my logo and you'll find us. So take a look at that. See if it works out. The first episode's free. You can watch it here on YouTube. After that, you can check them out on Patreon. We're doing the original Sex and the City series. Okay, on to Emily. We have a lot to talk about. So, fun music is playing. She opens her French doors. I don't know if that's what they call them in France. But she immediately goes, ugh. We find out it's 95 degrees outside. You know, we never really stopped to talk about it. I love how they do the opening. How they always flash Emily in Paris on something that she's doing or something around her. I just think that's fun. So she's going to go in the office early because maybe it's cooler there than it is in her apartment where she has no AC. On the way, she runs into Gabriel. And so she finds out that every day he has a new menu. It's chez la vue, I think it's how you say it. So it's just, it's uncomfortable because remember she told him, listen, I can't do this because I know my time is up at some point. So we can't put an expiration date on us. Let's just be friends. She goes into the office. Everybody's using fans to try to keep cool. They say it's like a sauna in there. They don't have AC. It's not common in Paris. They said, I think as Luke says, we like to feel the seasons change. Must Americans control everything? So Sophie is speaking to Emily's boss. Remember, it's Madeline. So P.S. I love Sophie's dress here. I've made a note. It's just gorgeous. She looks stunning in everything. So they're working on this account, Pelotech. It's like the movie version of Peloton. It's just, a bicycle or exercise bike with interactive features. So we get Alfie texting Emily. He's asking her for a drink before French class. She says yes in French, and he says, save that shit for French class. Julian says that's the smile she saves for the chef. It must be the chef. So, nope, it's Alfie. We go to Mindy and Benoit. So remember, they're into each other. He says since she joined the band, I have been feeling very inspired. They kiss. They sit on this beautiful picnic blanket in France next to this fountain. I'm completely jealous. I love Mindy. I love that she's happy. Good for her. That's awesome. You guys, then we go to Alfie and Emily, and I'm having feelings about this. And what I mean is I always thought Emily belonged with Gabriel, but then watching this episode, I really like Alfie. I do. He's not just good looking. He's fun, and he's drunk, and I like drunk Alfie. He's way more, you can hear way more of his very cute British accent. She's trying to get him to skip class. He's like, nope, I gotta go. I gotta get it signed for work. And they're both drunk, which I loved. Well, Emily ends up using French in class to stand up for him. People were laughing because he was so drunk, didn't know how to write Jean Marie or whatever she was trying to say. But Emily stands up for him in class and does it in French. And the teacher says, well done, Emily. Alfie, not so much. So it's awkward. They're standing around like, yeah, it's really hot. And he said, I'm going to go home and stand in front of the AC. And she said, I wish I had AC. You guys, it gives an opening for him to invite her back to his apartment. So we're at his place, and she's enjoying the AC. He's so hot, so there's that. He lives in this business district, and it's interesting because she even says, well, no wonder you don't like Paris. You're not in it. It looks completely different where he's at versus where she's at. You need some color in here. You need to brighten this apartment up. It's a corporate apartment. He makes jokes about he says, I'm not a banker, I'm a spy. And we see them flirting with each other. They're drunk flirting. And he says, if you promise not to laugh, I'll tell you my real name. He says it's Judi Dench. And that, I don't know why, it just cracked me up. And she says, I won't tell a soul, Judy. So I just like seeing him like this. I think he's kind of been given her a hard time up until now. And then he's super cute and flirty. They start kissing. He can't figure out her shirt. And you guys, it was hot. She said, just rip it. So he does. So we see them fall into bed together. The next morning, this is what we get to see. We get to treat our eyes to. Emily's gathering clothes. Alfie wakes up and there's this. And he says, "Are you pulling a Houdini?" She says, "Last night was so." He says, "Last night was so fun, Cooper. You're leaving without a kiss goodbye." She steals his jacket. She walks back. She's sending him a text saying, "Hey, let me know how to get your jacket back to you." Then she runs into Gabriel, and I squealed at my TV, you guys, because he knows she's obviously coming from sort of hookup situation, and she's trying to say, "Oh, no, the oversized power suit is just in right now." Now he sees through her BS. Pelletech presentation, heart pumping, cardio experience. That's what the American guy is trying to sell them on. The French people, not into it. They say they don't understand. Sylvie has a really funny line where she says she'd rather ride her bike into I never said that right, the Seine. Emily says she hasn't heard anything from Alfie. She sends him a hello text. It's because she thinks he's gone radio silent on her. So Mindy, can we just take a minute and look at Mindy? I think she looks so beautiful in these scenes right here. This dress is so flattering on her. I think she looks stunning. I like her hair like this. Yeah, the big bow's a little much, but she is stunning here. Clearly the bandmate knows that she and Benoit hooked up. And she says, "Please don't make it weird. Don't tell people. Let's just try to keep this under our hats." No pun intended, because that guy's wearing a big yellow bucket hat. Meanwhile, Emily's losing her damn mind. She is calling Alfie and trying to leave him a message. It's weird. She tries to re-record it. Julian walks out right when she's trying to record it and says, "Yeah, that sounded bad." So she's acting like a high schooler. She's calling him a lot. So then we see Emily and Mindy at a cafe. She says it's official. Alfie is a jerk. And I was like, no, what is happening? I knew it had to work out because, of course, they'll see each other in French class. Like, I get it. So they're at this beautiful cafe. I love Emily's shirt here. I don't know why. The cut's a little weird, but damn, I love those colors. I really do. That plaid is so pretty. I just think it's a really cool shirt. I love the fashion on the show. Especially coming off that and just like that garbage, I got to take a minute and appreciate the fashion because at least they bring it here. Even if it's not not always my favorite, I can appreciate the expensiveness, the fanciness. I love it all. Okay, so Sylvie's on the phone, right? And she's on the phone with Madeline, and she doesn't want to take on this Pelletech account. And there's definitely a power struggle going on there. Madeline's back in America, and she's like, no, we need to do this. This is a thing. We're going to do it. And Sylvie's like, no, not going to do it. So definitely going to lead to something interesting. I want to see where it goes. Sylvie tells the guys to get rid of the bike. And so Emily walks in and realizes the bike is gone, talks to the guys about it, and they're like, oh, crap, something's happening. Emily then gets a text from Gabriel that there's an English guy in here looking for you. So she's like, oh, no. So she runs to Gabriel's place, and we find out that Alfie hasn't been ghosting her. It's that he lost his phone. So it was in the suit jacket that she took home with her. She says, "You sit here, watch the game, and I'll go get it," which I was kind of surprised she left him alone with Gabriel. You think she'd be like, hey, come with me, and I'll get it for you, or we'll go get it. But she goes back to her apartment by herself. Mindy is there. She has a fan from Benoit, such a thoughtful gift. Emily grabs Alfie's jacket and phone. She walks back. She has to apologize to Gabriel because Gabriel puts it together. Oh, he's the reason you walk back with that suit jacket, and he's the reason. Gabriel says Alfie's the reason we can't be together. And he says, I want you to be happy, Emily. I just don't want to see it. And I don't blame Gabriel there. I don't, I think he really had true feelings for Emily, so it must be hard to see. So Alfie walks out right at that time, talking about I'm so good at sports, the sports game, whatever they were watching, and says, he laughs and says France lost, which is great. I mean, just great comedic timing there. So Emily and Alfie walk off together. She says, before I give this back to you, your phone, I have to delete some things. And so cute. He goes, "Oh, Cooper, do you like me?" So I like seeing his personality like that. We go to Sylvie's house. Sylvie looks so good. It's unbelievable to me. I hope I can look a fraction of this good at her age. She looks fantastic. We find out she climbs on and enjoys the Peletec bike. So there's definitely some power struggle going on there. I'm curious to see going forward if she admits that she likes it or she pretends that she still hates it. I think it's interesting that it's at her house. That says a lot. I think it's just a power struggle between her and Madeline, potentially over Emily maybe. But that's it for the episode, you guys. I really enjoyed this one. I thought a lot of fun stuff happened. It made some of the storylines skip forward, and I'm here for it. I'm liking Alfie. I want to know your comments. Are you Team Gabriel, Team Alfie? You got to let me know. It's hard because I always like Gabriel too, but I don't know. There's something about Alfie. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Do check out my Patreon if that's something you're interested in. If not, I'll keep the content coming here. And thank you so much for everything. Take care. Bye-bye.